Time to swing, just like I taught you.
When did you teach me that?
I didn't. It's a little joke for team building.
What's up? This is Mike and Matt from GameSpot Universe. We are here at San Diego Comic-Con 2018, and we're going to talk about the Sony press conference wherein they showed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Venom. What do you want to hear about first?
Well, I'd like to hear about Venom, because I'm already super duper on board with Into the Spider-Verse.
Right, okay. And to be fair, Venom, just less exciting, right? I mean,
yeah.
Right for the... Tell me on a base level, what do you think about a Venom movie without Spider-Man?
Without Spider-Man, it could work.
Okay.
But Venom's not personally a character I'm into. I will not give my reasons. People will be mad. 90s Mountain Dew bike.
Yeah, please give me your reasons.
It's just very 90s for its time. There are versions of Venom that I really, really like. When Flash Thompson became Venom and he was a covert secret agent with the Guardians of the Galaxy. But 90s Venom is just too of its time for me. I feel like it doesn't translate to the 2010s.
That's how I feel about Venom too. Venom is like a Limp Bizkit album.
Yeah.
We liked it at the time. We thought it was the height of cool, and we were very wrong. And I don't think that it looks very good.
I thought the trailer looked okay, the first one that I saw. But what did you see in this panel? Because you obviously got to see something exclusive as the Hall H thing.
Yeah, so they showed a lot of new stuff. And I think that the footage they showed kind of gave a sense of like what the central conflict of the movie is going to be, because obviously it's a Venom movie without Spider-Man. There's no hero character in the movie. So it's kind of a battle between Eddie Brock and the symbiote itself. So Tom Hardy was there, he came out on stage, he described Eddie Brock as an anti-hero in the movie.
You mean the giant word anti-hero from the first trailer that popped up on the screen?
Tom Hardy confirmed that Eddie Brock is an anti-hero in that movie. And he's kind of gonna be struggling to get control of the symbiote. The symbiote wants to like murder people. And there's an element of doing whatever they can to reach their goal, like means justify the end, and justify the ends justify the means. And Eddie's not into it, and so they're trying to they're involved in like a mental struggle for control, and he's got the symbiote inside of him, and the symbiote is like talking to him a lot throughout the trailer. Like there's a point where he's trying to meditate in this footage that they showed. He's lying on the ground, his eyes are closed. He's trying to clear his mind, and there's a voiceover like you're in total control, but he's obviously not. And the symbiote talks to him. They have mental conversations, and then at one point, like the symbiote. It's like he's like driving a motorcycle down the street, and it's trying to burst out of him, and cars are like getting flipped over on either side.
Okay.
And at one point, the black sludge symbiote material kind of comes off his arm and forms like the Venom head, and then just starts talking to him like this. And it's like it's super weird. It's like very CG heavy. But the footage, first of all, one thing that they showed was Riot, who is another symbiote. You're more familiar with Venom comics than I am.
I believe that's Lethal Protector's storyline, which is the Venom and Spider-Man story.
So Tom Hardy said that it's going to the movie sticks closely to the Lethal Protector storyline, which I then Googled, and Spider-Man is on the cover. So I don't know how closely it could stick.
I mean, you could... I don't want to get too deep into this. You could do that story without him, but you kind of need Spider-Man. But whatever, it's filmed.
Well,
I'm sure
apparently you don't.
Yeah.
We'll see. Is Riot a cool villain?
No, I don't think any of the symbiotes aside from Venom, Anti-Venom, and Carnage are cool. And there are, it feels like millions of symbiotes, but those three are the only ones that at least I cared about, even when I was a kid in the 90s doing that.
Well, so the director Ruben Fleischer was there, and he was talking about Riot. He said that Riot is like a bigger, stronger, more powerful version, more powerful symbiote than Venom.
Very original.
Yeah, very original. You mean the villain is a
bigger, stronger bad guy?
Yeah. But he said that Riot has one unique power, which is he jumps around to different hosts, and so within the structure.
Wait, you mean like teleporting?
I'm just telling you what I heard, dog. I don't know. But he can inhabit different hosts. I pictured Agent Smith from The Matrix. But he said he said throughout the structure of the movie, you never really know where Riot's going to pop up or who is going to be the host for Riot at any given point. that sounded kind of interesting.
It's almost like that Denzel Washington movie Fallen.
And each touch
And at the execution, did he try and touch you?
Yeah, he did, actually.
passes the soul of a killer into someone new.
You say so.
How did the symbiote sound, not symbiote, symbiote sound when talking to Tom or Eddie Brock?
I'm not gonna do the voice, but it sounded kind of goofy. And there's this thing with Tom Hardy in movies where I don't know if he's doing the voice or whatever, but like I couldn't understand anything the symbiote said. Almost anything the symbiote said was just gobbledygook.
So all of his voiceovers like, all I want here.
Yeah, they just actually took lines from the original version of the Dark Knight Rises trailer and just put just animated Venom's the symbiote's mouth to. No, there were long stretches where the footage that they showed ended in this convenience store that was probably getting robbed. By the way, do convenience stores get robbed as frequently in real life as they do in superhero movies? Because Shazam had the same thing.
As someone that lives by a bunch of convenience stores, yes.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Anyway, so I think the store was being robbed or whatever, and Tom Hardy's in there, and he's in full Venom mode, and he doesn't have the white spider logo or anything, which people are mad about, I guess. I'm not a big enough Venom fan to care. But he's in there and he's in full, CG regalia, and he's talking to the I guess the robber or something. It wasn't really a full scene, but he's got this whole thing he says, and I seriously could not understand a word of it. Have no idea what he said, but it ended. The Venom face like peeled half away and like retracted, so it was half Tom Hardy, half Venom, and together they went, "We are Venom."
Oh, I don't like that. If they had the villain from Candyman doing the voice, I'd be totally about that, but it sounds like it is not that type of voice.
I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment on like some early Comic-Con footage. The director afterwards said that the effects aren't finished. Take it all with a grain of salt. Granted, this movie's out in like 2.5 months, so they have some work to do, I guess, or this is just a clip from a while ago and they've made progress since then. I don't know. I'm gonna reserve judgment.
It's a comic book movie, I'm going to see it.
Yeah, in a couple months, I might be eating my words.
And the other movie, which we are both very, very hyped at, was Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse. What did you get to see?
Yeah, I'm a lot more excited about that movie. I know you are. It looks
Yes.
amazing, everything we've seen so far. Shamik Moore and Jake Johnson and Haley Steinfeld, who are Miles Morales, old grizzled Peter Parker, and Gwen Stacy / Spider-Gwen from Another Dimension. We're all there with the directors, with Lord and Miller, and they showed some exclusive footage, which I will happily describe to you in medium detail.
I would love medium detail description.
So I mean, clearly it's like very young Miles Morales, and he's just gotten his powers, and he gets out of, it's stuff like he gets out of bed and his pants don't fit anymore, and he's like, is this puberty? Like, what is going on here? He hasn't realized yet what's going on. He goes to school, he runs into Gwen Stacy, and he gets his hand stuck in her hair, and he's like not quite understanding what's going on, and there's like, it's animated, so there's like some goofy, it's like a little bit slapstick, and they wind up tumbling around. They go to the nurse's office, and they have to shave her hair to get, and people are saying that's why when in the art that they debuted yesterday, it's why she has that haircut with this,
like the cool
the
haircut.
hipster cut with the side of her head shaved. I don't know about that though, because later in this footage, when Gwen Stacy shows up, she goes, "Hey, I'm Gwen. I'm from another dimension." So it's not the same one that like he ran into and had that encounter with at school, but maybe it'll connect somehow. I don't know, dude. It's the multiverse. There's Spider-Mans everywhere.
The most Spider-Mans. You got to see a few different Spider-Men, Spider-Folk.
Yeah. So it's the SpiderVerse. There's Spider-Mans from all Spider-Folk. I like that better.
Yeah.
There's Spider-Folk from multiple dimensions, all coming together in this story. In Miles Morales' universe, like the main universe of the movie, Peter Parker existed but is dead. And so when Miles starts to realize what's going on with his powers, he goes and visits Peter Parker's grave. And he's struggling. I don't know. How do I be Spider-Man? I can't do this. And then Peter Parker from another dimension, who's older, played by Jake Johnson, comes up behind him. They wind up having this encounter where he gets knocked out, and then Miles has to drag him through the street as he's getting chased by cops. It's very funny. It's fast-paced. It's funny like Lord and Miller, like the Lego Movie, all the Lord and Miller stuff that we love. And yeah, the big reveal, Gwen Stacy shows up, as I already described, but the big reveal at the very end was they showed off a few more of the Spider folk that we're going to meet. First off, I think you're excited about Spider-Man Noir, played by
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is doing the voice.
Wonderful.
He said one thing, and it was really funny.
What was it?
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
They have actress Kimiko Glenn is playing like a little Japanese girl in a spider mech called SPDR. I don't know. Can you tell me more about this, please? Because I'm very curious.
I read SpiderVerse not as intensely as most people, but I remember it's just a girl in a giant robot. Like, you just love that. It's just awesome.
I immediately thought of Diva from Overwatch.
I went to RoboJocks, a movie that only I have seen.
And the third one is one that I also do not understand, so maybe you can help me with this, but it's Spider-Ham, and people seemed excited about this. It appears to be a cartoon Looney Tunes pig in a Spider-Man costume with sopping wet hands.
I don't understand the sopping wet hands. I'm not too...
His hands were dripping, and he said, I just washed my hands, I swear. And I was like, what the hell is happening
I'm not
here?
as intensely versed with the What Huh comics, but he's from a universe where all the heroes are anthropomorphic animals.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
They're not all pigs.
They're not all pigs.
Are they all farm animals? Is it Animal Farm Spider-Man?
Yes, it's very much Animal Farm.
The one thing I'm excited about as far as Spider-Ham goes is that he's being voiced by comedian John Mulaney, who I love.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So
from Kroll Show and
perfect.
Oh Hello. So that's really good, and that was funny.
Did they talk any bit about the art style? When I did a roundtable with them, we talked a little about how the art style is really kind of ripped from the comics to kind of merge both those worlds.
Yeah, so one of the cool things in the footage is it's not all the time because it would get annoying, but there are scenes where dialogue pops up in bubbles like a comic book, which is really cool. Lord and Miller said they when Sony approached them to do a Spider-Man animated movie, they said, we'll do it, but it has to be Miles, which is awesome. Yep. Thank you, Lord and Miller. And the second thing they said is they wanted it to look unique. They wanted it to have a unique art style that nothing else looked like it, that drew from comics, but drew from other things. And I mean, everything we've seen so far indicates that they succeeded. It looks amazing.
It looks so good. I'm so happy it's Miles Morales. I love the Bendis run on those comics. Yeah. I'm just so pumped for this movie.
The other thing that that appeared in this footage briefly is Kingpin, which is a fan favorite. Obviously, most recently, everybody loved him in Daredevil, and his brief other appearances in that show. But Daredevil season 1, but the Kingpin in SpiderVerse is like the brief shot that they showed of him, he's like filling the screen. Yeah. He's like larger than life, like super massive.
There's a silhouette of him in the first trailer you can see, and he is just gigantic compared to all his minions around him.
Yeah.
There's also Prowler, which I'm super, super pumped about because of his relationship with Miles Morales. I'm not going to say anything if you've never read the comics, but like it's such a good story.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it looked amazing. Yeah. I'm really, really excited about it. And it's coming to theaters, right? That's this year.
That's bonkers. It's so awesome it's going to be in theaters. I thought it was going to be straight to DVD. It announced theaters. I'm like, I'm all in. I've already got 74 tickets.
Really? Can I have one?
I'm lying.
Oh, okay.
But I'll get you a ticket.
Well, anyway, that's the Sony press conference. That's Venom. That's SpiderVerse. Stay tuned to GameSpot for all the San Diego Comic-Con. What year is it?
2018.
That you can handle.